So welcome back to the second chapter of where the first video we discussed about how to build this, this hero section here. And we created this part and these icons, and then we also made an effect here that we can see our icons are going below, below this video section. Okay. Again, we have another problem here. As you can see, we kind of have that this video section is eating our video. So let's just fix it right now. So let's make sure that the height of the video section is set to fit the content like that. So if I increase the size like this, as you can see now, nothing happens. It just comes very well. So now let's create these parts of the website where, as we get into a website hero section, we have a nice highlighting that moves from left to right. So here we're gonna use a component and we're gonna use a couple of variants to animate the text from one state to the other. So the text that I want to animate is this called the hero animation part, and this is what I'm gonna use. But let me just delete this first because I'd already created this before. Let me just give it a raw feeling so that now I can walk you guys. So I'm going to right click and create a component out of this, and you're gonna call it hero animation. So now inside this component, I want us to draw a frame inside it. Okay, I'm gonna come here to this variant and I'm gonna hold F on my keyboard. Just gonna drag it like that, and then I'm gonna make sure that the width of this is set to like 2, and then I'm gonna make sure this frame is below here like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna make sure that the positioning type is set to absolute, so I can drag it where I want it to be like this. I'm gonna just drag it like that, and then I'm gonna drag it below here, so I want it to be like somewhere there. And then I want to pin this frame to the left part, so make sure you've pinned it to the left part like that. So this is the frame that we want to use, and then now we're gonna adjust the width of the frame. So I'm just gonna see if I can increase its width like this. Gonna make sure I increase the width like that. So now, as you can see, we have something coming up well. So I want to change the fill to the orange color that we can see. Actually, it's pink, and then notice that our pink is quite pinky. So I'm gonna reduce the opacity a bit, and then I'm gonna make sure that the height is also the height of the frame is a bit low like that. Okay, and then now inside this frame is where we're gonna add a stick. So the stick is going to be like, you see that icon, like you see when we try and do some text, we can see this, this thing that is this line. You can see this line that is coming in and out. That's what we want to build now. So, but we want to build it inside this frame. So click the frame and hold F on your keyboard. Make sure to click this frame and hold F on your keyboard. Now, now we have this stick inside this frame, and let's call this the main frame. Okay, or let's call this the highlight. Okay, let's call it the highlight. And then let's go to our frame here and let's just zoom it inside a bit. So this frame, I want it to be pinned to the farthest end. Actually, we don't want it to be pinned to this end. We want it to be pinned to this right side. So I'm gonna pin it to the right side again, and then I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Then I'm gonna try and adjust it to be like my, like that cursor, that text cursor. And then of course I'm gonna put in the color to be pink, and then I'm gonna just rise it a bit like that. I think that is good. And then inside this frame again, I'm gonna add another frame. So I'm gonna hold F on my keyboard and draw another frame here. So then I'm gonna drag this, I'm gonna click this frame. So let's call this other frame my stick, and then let's call this other one, let's first position it. So I'm gonna position it to this end here. I'm gonna drag it on top like that, slightly a bit high, and then I'm gonna now adjust the height. This, I think, can put like a height of 10, and slightly like a width of 26 is good. And then we're gonna make sure that the fill color is also pink, and then we're just gonna adjust the border radius. So we're gonna come here to the radius, and I'm gonna click here the top left part to be like 8. Okay, 8 is too much. I'm gonna use like 3 is too much. Let me use 2. And then on the top right part, I'm gonna use 2, and then on the top bottom right part, I'm gonna use 2. So now we have a nice frame inside it. So this is where we're gonna add a text here. I'm gonna add a text here. I'm gonna write bingo, and then this is just a bunch of text, and then we're gonna just reduce the size of the text. And then I'm gonna come now to this frame which has the text inside it. I'm gonna add a layout to it so that the text can be well positioned at the center. And I'm just gonna increase the size of the text just a little bit like that. Yeah, so pretty much it. So now we have a nice structure to it. So we have our highlight, which has a stack, which has a text inside, and we have this stick here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna try and create another variant. So let's create another variant here. So click here, primary variant, create another variant. So this is variant 2. So let's go back to variant 1. So I want you to click this highlight and just drag it till the farthest left parts like that. And then I want you to come to the highlight and kill the opacity completely. Now we cannot see. Remember here, now we are adjusting the primary variant, and then we're gonna go to the variant 2. As you can see, anything that we change in variant 1 applies to variant 2. So we're gonna click here, highlight, and I'm gonna increase again the width of the highlight like this, and I'm also going to increase the opacity so we can see what we are changing. So I'm gonna increase the width like that, and let me zoom inside so you can see. Gonna increase the width. I think that is good. Nice. So now, as we can see, what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna transition from one variant to the other. So now I'm gonna add the transition effect. So I'm gonna just remove this and add a plus here icon, new transition, and my trigger is going to be on appear, and then I'm gonna have a delay of like 0.3, and then we're gonna have it set to variant 2. So when it appears, when this content appears after 0.3 seconds, it changes to variant 2. So now if we view our animation, you can see it comes really well, although that's quite fast. I can reduce the delay to like 0.5, or I can even have it to like 0.8 like that. So if I view it, you can see we have a nice delay and it comes in really well. So now I can change the transition effect. So the transition, I don't want it to be that fast. I want to use a smaller transition. So I'm gonna use like 500, and I'm gonna have a damping of like 60. So now, as you can see, when I view my content, it comes out really well. Although we can see the text here is quite small, so we can work it out a bit. We can go back to our stack here, which is our text stack, and we can increase it slightly a bit. We can increase the size. So make sure you lock this, and you can try and increase the size. We are reducing. No, I want it to be like 32. So now if I view this, it's kind of big, so let me just increase the size a bit. So I'm increasing the text size. So I'm just gonna drag it, just Control Z, just gonna drag it on the right side like that. And I'm gonna go to the text and increase the size of my text like that is good. That's pretty much it. So when I view my website, if I click here view, as you can see, it comes up really well. Although we can see that on our main website, we have rounded edges. So we can do that here. So I need to come back to my hero animation here, and I'm gonna edit the component, and I'm gonna go to my highlight and put in a radius of like 4 or 6. Let's put 6. So we cannot see it here because we had set this main one to 0 opacity, but we can view it here. So if I go back home and I view my website, nice. So as you can see, we have this nice effect, which is pretty much what we wanted to build. Yeah, so and then as we scroll, we have this nice effect here. Yeah, so that's pretty much a website. And you know, if you want to remix this file, practice and grow your skills in Framer, I'm gonna link the remix in the description, the live demo website in the description below, and you can check it out. Once again, thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new today, and I will see you in the next video.